we are getting so close to our Disney World trip. So that means it's time for packing. And I didn't want to do an entire 2 hour long video where I go through all of my stuff and pack everything all in one video. So instead, I'm splitting up the packing videos. If you haven't already checked them out, I already have my stroller gear that I'm bringing, my park bag items that I'm bringing in another video. So when you're done with this one, if you haven't watched those yet, go ahead and watch those. Those are going to be linked down below. And next week will be the full-blown getting everything into the suitcases. So today we are going to be packing up our personal items for the airplane. So let's get into it. So to start off, we're going to be packing up my kids' personal items. They obviously have the most stuff in here, so we're going to go ahead and get these all set up and ready to go. Now, I always like to have a lot of items and things for them to do on the plane. We fly from New York, so we have about a 3-hour flight. So, I like to make sure they have a lot of stuff that can keep them busy. They will have their tablets, but I don't want them sitting on the tablets for 3 hours on the plane. And honestly, they get bored with that anyway. So the tablets are really going to be like a last resort if they're done with all their stuff and they're bored and okay, you can go on your tablet now. Or they can always hook their headphones up to the little screens that are on the back of the plane, on the back of the seats. But the thing about that is that you can never really be guaranteed, at least with JetBlue, which is the airline that we always fly, you can never be guaranteed that you're going to get a plane that has those screens on the back. So I do always like to make sure I have their tablets just in case we don't have the option of watching it there on the plane. So let's get into what I'm packing them in their bags. Now they both have just regular backpacks that they bring for their personal items. So we're gonna go ahead and fill these up. So to start out, they each get their own little airplane tray table tray kind of thing. These are really cool. They fold up, they roll up really nice and small. They can easily fit in their bags. And then what you do is you undo them like this. And there's this little pocket here that slides onto the airplane tray. And then when it's on the airplane tray, these little buttons snap together so that it forms its own little tray with 4 sides, or you can just do 3 sides, whatever you want to do. But it makes it so that if they're playing with toys on their tray, nothing's rolling off onto the floor. If they have crayons, markers, anything like that, nothing's rolling off onto the floor, and also nothing is damaging the airplane tray underneath. Like if you have markers or crayons or anything like that, I wouldn't recommend giving markers or crayons or anything like that to young kids who really could just kind of color on anything. But for those older kids that can be trusted with markers and crayons, they won't be rolling off onto the floor with these. So they each have one of these, and they, again, like I said, they fit super easily into their bags. So we're going to go ahead and get these in here. So this is my daughter's, and then my son has the same exact thing. His is a dinosaur print. They have other prints available, and everything that you're seeing here, I'm going to try my hardest to link down below in the description if you see anything that you might want to get for your own kids. So, okay, so they have their airplane trays, and I also like to bring, both of my kids really like sticker books and activity books, so I always get a bunch of those. Now, I am going to say that normally, if we're having a early flight there and, an early or afternoon flight on the way home, I like to make sure that I keep back some of the items so that they have new things to do on the way back as well, because obviously, if they're kids, new items will always keep their interest a little bit more than things they've already seen. But in this case, we're flying to Disney early in the morning, so they're gonna have all their stuff. And then on the way home, we actually have a really late flight. It doesn't leave until 8 o'clock. So in my mind, they're probably not going to be doing as many toy things as normal. I'm still going to pack them in their bags, but my guess is that it might be a little bit more tablet time. I'm hoping that they'll both sleep. So on the way back this time, I'm not going to have too many other surprise items for them. It'll just be things that they didn't finish on the way there, or maybe things that they bought in Disney World that they can play with on the way home. But so that normally, if we have an earlier flight on the way back, I will keep back some of the sticker books and activity books. I'll pack that in the suitcase, and then on the way back, then they'll go in the personal items for the way home. Okay, so I have everything just like piled here, so I'm just gonna go through things and then we'll put them in whoever's bag they are. So I did also get some other cute like reading books too. This is just like almost kind of like a Where's Waldo, but it's a Where's Minnie, and my daughter absolutely loves Minnie, so I got this for her. So this is going to go in her bag. This is also for my daughter. It's Merry Christmas Princess book. It's got this cute little advent calendar on the back with just like lift the flaps. So obviously we're going around Christmas time. So that will be really cute for her to have as well. And these are also books that we can look at when we get to the resort too, you know, maybe before bed, or, you know, things like that. We can look at them more later too. So these are the books that I got for my son, just like a Mickey and Minnie Christmas book. And then he also loves cars. So I got a very Mater Christmas, because he loves cars and especially Mater. So those are for him. Those are going in there. And now here come more of like the sticker activity books. So I got this one for my daughter. It looks so cute. It's got all the princess stickers, and you can kind of like stick them in like castle rooms, and you know, it kind of gives you prompts to kind of do things a certain way. She likes these ones, so I thought this would be really cute for her. And she also really, really loves these Usborne sticker dolly dressing books. They have a whole bunch of different themed ones. I found a Christmas one, so this is going to be super cute. They're really adorable because they have these pages of like, they're supposed to be dolls, and in the back of the book are the stickers, and they're usually like their outfits and accessories and things like that, so you can dress the dolls using stickers. So she really loves those, so she's going to like having that. And then I have this Christmas sticker book for my son. This one is more of just kind of like a free form. They have like trees, like Christmas trees and decorations in the back. And then in the front of the book, you can kind of just like stick them anywhere you want. In the one that my daughter has, it's kind of like this goes with that doll and that goes with that doll. In these ones, you can just kind of stick them wherever you want, which is much better for a 4-year-old. So he's going to like that one. And then this is just like a Christmas activity book that I picked up at Target for my daughter. It's got stickers and mazes, all different kind of games and stuff that she can do. So I actually have to remember to pack, I don't have them here, like crayons, like I mentioned, crayons, markers, even like a pen that she can use these with. So I'm going to have to remember to get something like that for those types of things. And then for my son, I actually picked up one of these mess-free finger painting books where, if you're familiar with the mess-free markers, where they don't leave anything on any type of surface except for these pages, these special pages. This is the same thing, except these come with finger paints. So you're basically using like your fingerprint on these pages. So I thought that would be really fun for my son to do, a nice mess-free activity for him. So that's gonna go in there. And then I each got them these Christmassy stickers, also from Target. So they each get one of these packs. And for those like stickers and things like that, I also do just have these kind of like plain little notebooks. They just have plain pages, so the kids can just put stickers on them. They can actually decorate the front of the notebook with crayons or stickers, anything they want to decorate that with, so they will have a place to put those stickers and things like that. They just kind of stick on there. And then I also have these little Play-Doh jars. These, I absolutely love these. These are from Young, Wild, and Friedman. I'll have their shop link down below, but they have so many different themed Play-Doh and slime and like all these different kits. And this one is like a pizza kit. So it comes with the dough down here. And I don't know if you can see, but it actually has like real oregano in the dough. So it smells a little bit like pizza and it's going to look like pizza dough. And then on the top here are all your toppings for the pizza. So many times my kids have wanted to try to make pizza with Play-Doh and stuff. And all the little Play-Doh pieces just get smushed into the pizza and it's hard to separate it. So I thought this was such a good idea because all these pieces, all the toppings are like wooden, and so they can easily come back off and you can redo it, you know, as many times as you want. I thought that was really neat and I'm super excited for them. They're both gonna really love having these. And then they do both have their headphones. I love how these ones fold up nice and small. Now I do have the wire attached to it. When you pull them out like this, the wire is attached to it. You can remove the wire and use the headphones with Bluetooth. But when we're traveling on the plane and things like that, I don't want to have to worry about making sure the headphones are charged. So when we are on the plane, I do make sure I have the cord, and then also they can easily connect it to the screen on the back of the plane seat if they wanted to watch that. We don't have to get another gadget that allows them to be able to connect to that. So that way they just have them like this. And then I can also, what I do is when we're in the parks, I actually, you know, I'll remove that and I will bring these for them when we're going to be seeing fireworks or something like that, just so that, you know, that it's not, they're not noise canceling, but I think they do enough just to, you know, make it a little bit easier on them when the fireworks are there. So they both have a pair of these and the wire. I'm actually just realizing now that my son's backpack is actually a lot larger than my daughter's. Which it should have been the other way around because my daughter's 9 and my son is 4, but it is what it is. I might have to get a bigger one for my daughter for next trip because I'm loving all the space in this one for my son. So, okay, next up, I actually have these little like stampers. They're just like Mickey stampers. And again, they can use those in those little notebooks, but they just have like little Mickeys and Friends and Minis, and I'll probably separate them into, you know, giving my daughter the mini ones and my son the Mickey ones. They're just, that's just how they are. They love Minnie and Mickey. So we'll separate these and put them into their corresponding. I should actually probably get maybe like little pouches for these, just so they don't get lost on the bottom. So I'm gonna have to find a little pouch for those before I put them in the bag. So another thing that I got for them were these cute little like gingerbread looking Minnie and Mickeys, and they actually come with their own sticker sheet that you can use to decorate each one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these for them. They do come with all these little strings, but I'm going to actually leave the strings at home so that if they do want to hang them on the tree when we get home, we can do that then. We don't really need to have the strings for when they're on the plane. They're just going to get lost. So I'm going to separate these, and then in the same note, I also have these ones as well, which is the same idea, but these are actually like nativity scene. So again, they come with the little strings, but these ones are actually like a little nativity scene that you can, you know, they have like the little stickers that you can do. So I'm going to separate these and I'm going to put them into these little pouches for each kid. And I actually also have some paper clips to keep them together. So let's go ahead and do that now. So there are, okay, so there are 4 of each kind. So I'm going to go ahead and just do 1 of each kind for the way there. And then they can even do some more in the resort if they want. And if there's any left over, again, I'll bring them for the plane ride back. So we have 1 gingerbread, 1 little bakery guy, a little gingerbread house with ears, another little house, a little gingerbread cookie tree, cookie kind of star thing maybe, and a little gingerbread cookie mitten. So those all go together. So they obviously each get a sticker sheet for each kind. So I'm just going to do 1 of each kind for each kid, and they can use them however they want. Like, see, like the house ones have like a little door. So, you know, obviously those go with the house. And this one probably goes with the little gingerbread mini. Nice little decoration. Oh, and then this is cute. It has like a little, for the little gingerbread person, has like a scarf and things like that. So those are going to go together with that. Let me get a little paper clip. Put these together. And those go with that. I'm just going to kind of stick it on here. Hopefully they all kind of just stay together like that. And they're going to go in here. And then I'll get the nativity ones. So the nativity ones have this scene as well as this scene. So there's just 2 of them for that one. And then they'll have their little stickers that go along with it. So 1 of each set of those. And it just kind of shows you in the back like what they can do with them. Super cute. So those are going to get clipped together as well. And so now they have a little pouch here that has their little sticker sets. So they will each have 1 of these in their bag. So that's super cute. So I'm going to go ahead and do this same thing for the other bag. So my kids do love anything, all of those mystery things, like blind boxes. So I do have these little, they're adorables, and they actually come with like a little car and a little figure. I don't like how big they are. They're going to take up a lot of space, but you know, once they open them, it'll be fine. But we're going to go ahead and put 1 in each bag. So the last little toy activity that I have for each kid is actually a little Lego set. They both really love Legos, so I thought it would be a really cute idea to have them packed up and they can do them on the tray, and then if they want to take it apart and do it again later, they can, or they can keep them intact. And I don't know how it's going to work if you try to keep this intact. We'll see if they fit into the bags when they're done, but they might have to take them apart and do them later. But I thought it would be a really fun idea. And to make it just a little bit easier on them, I'm going to take them out of the box and again, put them into 1 of these pouches. So let's do that now. So I want to make sure, obviously, I have the directions in here. I'm going to make sure we put the directions in. And everything that obviously comes with the box. So we have these pieces. And I think I'm going to keep them in these little bags, at least for my daughter. I don't know. Let me see what the directions say, because if you need to, like, sometimes they have it where it's like bag 1 and bag 2. No, I think I can probably take all the pieces out just so that I just don't like to have so much like garbage and things left over on the plane. So I'm going to go ahead and just empty everything in here, and she can go ahead and empty it on that tray. And you know, no pieces will fall out. Hopefully, they won't lose any of the pieces. But so I'm going to go ahead and put those all in with the directions. So make sure we have the directions in there, and that will fit really nicely in the bag. So that goes in there. And then for my son's, he has these little cars, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing that we did with the other one. Okay, see now this one has where you have numbered bags. So like one car is in this bag and one car is in this bag. So I am going to keep these in the bags just to make it a little bit easier. That won't be a big deal. I can just put the trash away when I need it. So those are going to go in there. And then I have, like, each car comes with its own little book. So I'm gonna make sure I have both of those in there for him. Obviously, he's going to need help with these. So, you know, my daughter might need a little help too. But, so there we go. They're in here. And then I do give each of them a little puke bag. We haven't needed to use these, cross my fingers, but both of my kids do get motion sickness. And the airplanes do have those paper barf bags, but these ones work so much better. They have the open mouth. We use these when kids are sick at home. Instead of trying to get to the toilet, we just use these. These are absolutely wonderful. But I am going to put one in each of their bags, just in case. They do use ear patches. Actually, our whole family uses ear patches for motion sickness, and those work wonders. They will already have them on in the morning before we even get to the plane, so they don't need to have them in their bags, but I will pack these just in case. So my daughter also has her little neck pillow, and that just gets attached to the outside of her bag. My son also has a pillow, but I keep that in my personal bag just because he doesn't use it all the time. It's not the neck pillow type. I'll show it to you in a little bit because it's going to go in my bag. So this is what her bag will look like. She'll have this, and then, oh, and also their tablets. Both of their tablets actually fit in each of their front pockets. So obviously I'm not going to pack that right now. We're still a little bit of ways out, but that's where their tablets will go. In the morning on travel day, we'll just stick them right in there. Okay, so now let's get into my personal item. So I have this bag here. It's got the little trolley strap, so I can hook that on to the carry-on that we're going to have. So let's get into what I put in here. So this bag has one of those bottom compartments that unzip. So what I'm going to put in here is my laptop and my camera gear. So, you know, obviously not all of you are vloggers or have that kind, you know, you don't need your computer or anything like that. So another great thing for this compartment could be sweatshirts or rain gear for when you arrive. It could be shoes. It could be anything that could fit into this little compartment. But for me, I'm going to put my computer and my camera gear in here. So that is going to get closed up. And also, you know, make sure you subscribe because a lot of these things could get kind of like switched around once I'm doing the actual packing, like into the suitcases and things. I might find that I need to put something else in my personal bag or switch things around. So we're gonna see, you know, these are the things that I know that I need in my personal bag, and we'll see when I get to actual packing, what happens when, you know, if I see that I need to kind of switch things around a little bit. So that goes into the bottom. So now I have, this bag has pull-ups and wipes and stuff for my son. And then also in here is this little, it's like garbage bags, which I really love to have on the plane because if they're having snacks or there's garbage, like from, you saw there could be wrappers from things that they're playing with. I can put them all in these little bags. And that way, when the flight attendant comes by, seeing if there's any garbage, it's all kind of in this little bag that you can just throw away in their bag instead of trying to like grab at all these little things that have flown around and it's a mess. That way things can kind of stay contained. I love having that on the plane. So also in here are these little water bottle converter tops. So these will actually go into one of those like plastic water bottles that you can get at the airport store, and it goes right inside, and then when you open the top it turns more into like a sports bottle. So if I tried to give my son just a plain bottle of water, it would go everywhere. So these make it a little bit easier. The reason why we do that and not use our water bottles is myself, my husband, and my daughter all have these kinds of water bottles. These are Ello. I absolutely love these water bottles, and one of the reasons is because you can use it two different ways. So it's kind of similar with the very popular Awala bottles, where you can either choose to sip or drink. What I absolutely love about this one is that if you are using it as a straw, you can use this top here, and then when you want to gulp it, if you like to have that wide rim gulp, you would open the bottom part and then have this wide open gulp to do that. But actually, I prefer to actually drink without the straw in this little, with this thing, because I don't like to have those wide mouths when I'm drinking, especially if I'm trying to drink while I'm walking, while I'm, driving in the car. I just feel like it always gets everywhere. It could just be me. I could just be clumsy, but I just prefer to drink from this mouthpiece, sipping it like you normally would. So what you can do is you can take out the straw on the inside, and then when you're on the airplane, that cabin pressure that sends the water out of the straw when you open it, it doesn't happen when you don't have a straw in there. So my daughter does prefer to use the straw normally, but when we're on the plane, we'll take the straw out and she can sip it so easily from here. She's not going to have that wide mouth. But my son, on the other hand, he still uses one of these water bottles where you open it up and it's the straw. And on the airplane, when you do that, when you open this up, the water just shoots out of the straw. So we can't use this on the airplane. So that is why we will be using these tops. So I can just pick up a plastic water bottle from the airport and put that in there for him to use on the plane. And then we can also use these at other times in the parks or in the resorts when you're getting a meal and they give you a bottle of water with your meal. You can choose to use that if you don't want to pour it into your reusable water bottle. So this bag is going to go inside here. And then I also have, and the other thing about these kinds of bags that have the bottom like this, when that happens, that does mean that the part here is a little bit smaller, right? So you're not going to be able to fit like taller things in here when you have that bottom piece that's separate. That's really the only downside about these types of bags. So definitely think about that if you like to have, like taller items in your bag. So the other thing that I will have in here is this little pouch. This little pouch has our magic bands in it. I like to keep that with us on the plane because we like to put them on right when we land so that we feel like we're in the magic already. So those will go in here. And then I also have these containers because what we like to do is we like to bring breakfast foods in the morning for my kids to eat breakfast. I have mentioned in my previous video that, my kids are really picky and my son also has food allergies. So we do bring a lot of food with us. So these are great little containers. They open up and they open up just like this. So we can just put their breakfast in here. And then, depending on when they decide that they want to eat them, you just push this back in and then it fits easily in your bag. So they can either choose to eat their food in the gate while we're waiting to get on the plane, or if they want to wait and eat while they're on the plane, that's fine too. But these are going to go in there, whether they're filled or empty. They'll obviously be put back in there once they're emptied. So the other thing that I have in here are our travel blankets. There is one for my daughter and one for me and my son. So when we're on the airplane, we usually have my husband and my daughter in one seated area, and then me and my son in the other seated area. So they have their own blanket over there, and we have our own blanket over here. My husband doesn't really use it, so it's really more just for my daughter. But me and my son will share one of them. So they get put into my bag just because there's a chance that they might not even want them. So I don't want to fill their bag with it. Their bag mostly, obviously you saw, has all of their activities and stuff in it. Like I said, my son's bag is actually a lot bigger than my daughter's. So I definitely could have put his blanket in there if I really needed to. But I'm just going to keep them in here. And if they need them, I can just pass them along. So I also like to just have a couple of Band-Aids and wound wipes as well as some lip gloss, and that's just going to go into this inside zippered pocket. Hopefully I don't need them, but that's going to go in there. And then I also have my phone charger, my portable charger, because this can easily charge any electronic that we have with us. It can charge the kids' tablets, it can charge our phones, it can charge really anything. If I need to charge up my camera, everything can be charged with this. So I do like to have this with us. I actually think I might have another one in my camera gear bag, but this one will just stay up here in case anybody else needs it. So I don't have to go digging through my camera gear to try to find it. And then I also have my travel wallet, which this will obviously have all of my cards and license and everything in here, but as well as our plane tickets that will all be stored in here. So this is going to go on the inside zipper pocket, just so that I know exactly where it is when we're going to go through security. I can open up my bag and I know it's right in that zipper pocket. I don't have to dig through things to try to find it. So that is going to go straight into here. And actually the zipper pocket is one of those like waterproof pockets. So if you ever did have something that, could leak or anything like that, you could easily put it in that little side pocket. But that's where I'm going to keep my wallet. So that is in there. And then in this little front pocket, I will probably have my phone. A lot of times I will fly with my personal bag and then also like my crossbody or fanny pack, which will have my wallet and my phone and stuff in it. But I want to try to keep it a little bit less this time. I always feel like I have so many bags and I just want to try to limit it this time. So my phone will go in there, my wallet will go in there. There's really no need for me to have a separate little fanny pack or a crossbody bag. So we're gonna try to get everything into this bag. So I will be putting those ear patches. Like I said before, everybody is going to get one. I'm going to have that in our personal item ready to go so that I can put it on everybody before we get on the plane. So that is going to go straight into my bag in these little, there's these little pockets in here too. They're not zippered, but you can just kind of stick something in there and you know where it is. And then I also, going in that pocket is also these Nuuns. These are what my husband and I love to have for electrolytes. These are so great. They're actually tablets. We used to use Liquid IV, the powder kind, which we do like, but we realized that the sugar content in Liquid IV is a lot. It's a lot of sugar. And we really like to have these daily. And so these are so much less sugar, and they actually have quite a few vitamins in them. This is their immunity blend. So it has a lot of those types of vitamins and other ingredients in them to make them for immunity. So we drink these every day, and we're definitely going to want to have them on travel day. So as soon as we get through security and we can fill up our water bottles, I can just go ahead and throw the tablets straight in there and we will be set for the day. So the last thing that's going in here is my son's pillow. Now I had mentioned that his is a little bit different than those neck pillows. This is actually, it's called a camping pillow, but it's actually one of those memory foam pillows. It's little, but it's so nice and soft. And my son You know, he likes to sleep on the plane, especially when we're having our late flight this trip. I anticipate him wanting to at least lay down, even if he doesn't sleep. He might lay down and watch his tablet or something like that. So this can easily go against this can easily either go on my lap where he can lay on my lap, or it can go on the handle, you know, the armrest, and he can put it on there. But these are really great. So he is going to really enjoy having this pillow, especially for that late night flight where I do anticipate hopefully he'll sleep on that late flight. But we'll see. Hopefully this will make it easier for him to do that. So that just goes straight on the top. So that is it. So that is my personal bag. This will fit right under the seat. My water bottle will go right in the side here. It's not a very big, thing for that. So I might just wind up holding on to my water bottle, just so it doesn't fall out. But that is my personal item. Okay, so last up we have my husband's personal item. This is actually a cooler backpack. So this is going to be used many different ways for our trip. For travel day there, it's going to have some food in it that I'm going to be making at home to bring for the kids. Like I mentioned, I do bring a lot of food from home. So I'm actually going to be like making a big batch of like French toast and maybe some like muffins or something. But that is going to go in here. And then, you know, he can just kind of fit on top the things that he needs. He doesn't need a lot of stuff. But then we will use this in the parks. We're going to fill it with water bottles for us to have during our park day. So this bag will come in handy many ways. So that is that. Obviously, I'm not going to put food in it right now, but I did just want you to check it out. It's got a lot of space in here. There are some other pockets that he can use, like on top here, and in the front there's a little bag here that in the front that he can put some things that he needs, like headphones and things like that can go in the front. So that is it for our personal items. So definitely subscribe, because next week we are going to be packing for real. It's going to be in the suitcases. It's going to be a full packing video. So subscribe, like this video if it helped you out in any way. If you see any items that you want to purchase for yourself, those links will be right down below. So until next time.